Hey guys, John Dugan here with Randy Keel Honda. As you can see, I'm kind of filming from home today, and I want to cover a couple things I get asked a lot, things that come up in the dealership all the time. People that are in the market or maybe just getting started, maybe fall under one of those categories. You know somebody that is. Okay, so in this video, basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the chip shortage, kind of what to expect when you go to the dealership, and people wonder, what things that dealerships are telling you are true and what may not be. So I'm going to just try to clarify a little bit of that for you for those that follow me. I appreciate the support. If you happen to know anybody in the market, forward this video to them. It'll be a big help to them when they get out to the dealership. And remember, like and subscribe, okay? All right, let's get into it. All right, guys. So the first thing I want to talk about is the chip shortage itself and kind of how that started, why it happened. Well, obviously, it all started with COVID. Okay, so when COVID happened, a lot of automakers were shutting their factories down, trying to keep their employees safe, and people were going home. So there wasn't as much of a demand for cars like there is now. And then the semiconductors or the chips that, that's all over the news, the automakers canceled all their orders because we had cars. So we had cars to sell. Nobody was buying them because everybody was at home. So guess what? Then that electronic industry, the video games, computers, cell phones, those kind of took precedence. All those orders filled up because those were all in high demand because people were working from home, going to school from home. So there was an influx in all of that. That electronic industry just kind of took off, filled up all those orders, and then shortly after that, then everybody was like, okay, I want a new car. So then they cleared out the lots, just cleared them out. Automakers got their orders in for new chips and semiconductors, and they were kind of like at the bottom of the totem pole, working their way up. And, and then a lot of dealers were offering 0% finance rates and everything like that. So they couldn't keep up with the demand. And that's kind of the situation that we're in now. And right now, like my dealership, personally, we have cars coming in on a regular basis. We have orders that are coming in, and typically you're going to wait on average anywhere from a month to maybe 3 months, depending on the vehicle. Certain plants are building multiple vehicles out of those plants, so, they kind of go on like a cycle. If it happens to be off cycle, you might be waiting that 3-month period, but typically it's about 30 days. We're a pretty high volume store, so we get a decent amount of allotment for vehicles to order. So we don't get affected by it as much as some dealerships do, but when you go out to a dealership, you're paying MSRP. Some dealerships charging over MSRP. They're forcing you to purchase protection packages on the vehicle, dealer installed accessories, things that you may not want. Almost every dealership installs their own accessories. That's kind of standard. A lot of them have a lot of benefits to you from the consumer standpoint. A lot of them are protection for the dealer, like door edge guards and things like that. So when we have a lot at full capacity, those door edges aren't getting banged up by people getting in and out of the vehicles all the time and constantly having to fix them and things like that. And those are minimal cost. So like things like that, there's a lot of value to that as a consumer too. You go to Walmart, you park next to a cart return, and you open your car door and bang into that. Well, you're not damaging your vehicle then. So it's got value going both ways. But, I'm going to cover a lot of the different things that you're going to experience if you come to my dealership and see me, or if you just go to another dealer in general, some of the things to expect and what to know. So obviously, you're going to go to a dealership and the dealers are going to charge MSRP. Okay, the way to view that is you're not getting a discount for a car. Okay, that's not good. But on the flip side of things, you're getting more for your trade. So it kind of balances out. Whereas before you get $1,000 off or $1,500 off or whatever the case may be, but your vehicle was worth less. So, right now, trades are up 20-30%, or the used car market is up 20-30%. You're paying some of the vehicles over $6,000 or $7,000 more than they were pre-COVID. So take that into consideration. Now you're actually probably getting a better deal because you're actually getting way more for your trade than you would have pre-COVID. So don't always go into the dealership thinking that paying MSRP for a vehicle is a negative thing. It's just that that habit of going to buy a car. What kind of deal can I get? Well, now it all comes down to the trade, and the money that you're getting for your trade is typically going to be more. So it's actually a really good time to buy a new car. But some dealers have protection packages that they're installing on the vehicles, and they're basically saying, hey, if you want the vehicle, you're going to buy the protection package. It's just the way it is, no matter what that dealership's going to sell that car, because there's a chance that nobody else has one, and some people need a car right now, so they're going to pay for it. You know, I don't know, depending on where you live, dealerships might be charging $5,000-$10,000 over MSRP. You know, in my personal opinion, I don't think you should ever do that. I can understand if it's like a rare car, like a Type R, or, you know, some people are paying $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 over for Tellurides. I think that's a terrible idea. You know, obviously if it's a car you want and you're going to keep it long term, you know, and it's exactly what you want, sure, go ahead. But from a resale standpoint, it's going to put you upside down in your loan. You know, it just financially doesn't make sense. But if you're the type of person that keeps your cars for 10, 12 years, by all means, go ahead. I personally would never do that. But with that being said, when you go to a dealership, a lot of times you're going to pay MSRP. Maybe you find a dealer that gets you a deal, maybe you don't. But going on the pretense that you don't get a deal, they're going to charge a protection package. They're going to force you to buy warranties and things that you may not want. That is something that you're going to deal with at probably 80% of dealerships, okay? Now, my dealership, for example, we're not forcing everybody to buy protection packages, and we're not charging over MSRP. We are charging at MSRP, and there is no discount. Our discount to consumers is we're not forcing you to buy a protection package like most of the other dealers are. And, you know, we are a locally owned and operated dealership, and we're an honest dealership. So we make sure that all of our customers, we're a low pressure dealership, okay? If you've done business with me in the past, you know that everything's a low pressure, okay? I'm always gonna ask you to buy. That doesn't mean you have to, but if you say no, I'm not gonna twist your arm off till you buy the vehicle. Other dealerships they're gonna do that. They're gonna work you, they're gonna grind you, and make the car buying experience terrible experience for you. With my dealership, you know, I'm going to present you the protection packages. I'm going to tell you why they're a good thing. Maybe they're a good thing for you, maybe they're not. It all depends on, every person is different. So you have to, if you're in the market for a car, if you're in the position that you need a car and you need a car right now, do your homework a little bit. Call around to the dealerships, find out what they're doing, find out if they're charging those extra protection packages. Have them show you, prove, hey, you have the car on the lot. They're all going to tell you, yeah. You know, 90% of the time they're going to tell you, yeah, I have it right outside. And then you're going to show up, yeah, it sold just a little bit ago, but here's what I got a couple coming in. And that's the wrong way to do business, because, you know, it's you know, not being truthful. I mean, you call me and ask me, I'll tell you, hey, I don't have any right now, but I got 3 coming, you know, and you might wait 24 days, 38 days, or whatever it is for the vehicle to come in, but I'm not going to lie to you. But other dealerships, that's something, you know, ask them, hey, can you show me that vehicle's coming in, and show me that it's available? And if they're not willing to do that, then odds are they're probably not telling you the truth. So ask if they're charging protection packages. Ask what they're charging if they're over MSRP. Ask if they can show you when the vehicle's coming in, and make sure it's not pre-sold. Because if you go look on dealerships' websites, it's going to show all their inventory, even if it's pre-sold. My dealership will show that we have 25 CRVs. We do not. We have 25 sold CRVs, but we do not have any new ones on the lot. So those are some things that you want to consider, you know, before you make it out to the dealership. Don't just blindly go out to the dealership, because they're going to give you the circus act, and you're going to end up spending 2 hours there, a waste of your day. So do a little bit of that homework before you get out there. Make sure you get the best buying experience, okay? Okay, so another thing I want to cover is compromise. Right now, in this day and age in the auto industry, as a consumer, you have to go into the car buying experience and compromise a little bit. If you're the type of person that says, I have to have a white car, has to have black interior, has to have this, and this, okay? Before you go to a dealership or reach out to one, get your must-haves on a list. What do you have to have? Okay, look at the current car that you have, whether you're trading it in, giving it to your kids, or whatever the case may be. Write down some of the things that you have to have, and think about some things like, if you call me and I say, hey, I have a CRV EX, how much do you have to have leather? How much do you have to have the power lift gate? Are those things that you can do without? What if it's red? What if it's not white? Find the things that you're willing to compromise on before you get to the dealership. If you know that the dealership has 3 CRVs or 2 Pilots or Odysseys or whatever you're looking for, know which things you're willing to compromise. Talk to your wife, talk to your husband, whatever, and figure those things out before you get to the dealership. Number one, it's going to make a quicker, more seamless buying process. Me as a salesman, I'm going to ask those things. Hey, I don't have the touring model. Here's the things that come in the touring model. Do you really need all of these things? Do you want to save a little bit of money? If you have to have the wireless charging, you have to have the built-in navigation. Well, here's, something you can use, Google Map, the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Does that work for you to make up for not having the navigation built in? Do a little bit of research on that side and find out what are your must-haves, the things you will not sacrifice. Obviously, safety is a big thing. Most people want safety. And if safety is all you're really after, that's your main thing, then an EX in just about every model is usually going to have, all your safety features that you're looking for. Depending on the vehicle, of course. But and that's if you're talking about new Honda. If you're talking about used and things like that, it's a little bit different. But if you're strictly looking at new Honda in particular, find out what your must-haves are and the things you're willing to sacrifice on beforehand. Also, buy something reliable. Obviously, if you're buying Honda, you're buying reliable anyway. But if you're looking outside of Honda and you're looking at, Nissans or GMC or whatever the case, just some type of GM or Ford, buy something reliable and don't borrow too much money. Keep it for the long haul. If you have to have a certain car and you pay over MSRP, and you buy protection packages, warranties, and things like that, make sure you're planning on keeping it for the long haul. Otherwise, in 3 years, 2 years, when this thing works itself out and you're like, oh, I want to go get a new car. Well, those trade values that were up real high are going to come down. And guess what? You're going to come see a salesman and he's going to be like, hey, you're $10,000 upside down in your loan. And you're going to be like, what? It's because you borrowed too much money. So those are some things that you want to consider, before you do go spend all that money. And a lot of people don't think about that stuff. They don't think about on the next trade and so on and so forth. So think about those things. And I do have one more thing I want to kind of cover with you guys here in just a second. I know it's a little bit of a long video, so I appreciate you if you have stuck around this long. This video is solely for you and to try to help you with your buying experience. But give me a call. 319-800-1333 is my number. If you have any questions, even if you're not buying from me and you're out of state and you're just like, hey, my dealer here is charging over MSRP. This is the vehicle I'm buying. Any tips? If you want to buy a car from me, I sell cars out of state all the time. It's I had a guy fly up here from Texas, super nice guy named Martin. Martin, if you're watching the video, hey. He flew up here from Texas, bought a Civic Coupe. It was a used car for his daughter who lived in LA. He just happened to work for United Airlines, flew in here, picked up the car, drove it to Colorado, and passed the car off. And that was a great experience for him. Check out Dealer Rater for the dealers that you're going to too. Find out if the dealer that you're working with truly is what they say they are. Every dealer is going to tell you, hey, we're honest, we're reliable, we're blah, 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 blah. If they don't have a Dealer Rater, odds are they're not. They're not probably going to be honest with you. They don't have a Dealer Rater because they'd have a terrible rating. But we have one. So if you want to look at Randy Keel Honda in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, look me up. You can see what kind of reviews I have and customers I've worked with and everything like that. So, check your local dealers, see if they're on Dealer Rater. But one last thing before I let you guys go. So for all you math guys out there, I kind of wanted to give you a scenario on paying over MSRP. Like I said, I'm not an advocate of doing that unless you're buying a collector's item or like a once in a lifetime car or just something that you've wanted your entire life for or whatever. But on a regular car that you're going to keep for a couple years, trade it in, move on to the next thing. Think about it this way, okay, and how your long-term losses can be compounded if you do this. On average, depending on the vehicle, but on average, vehicle is going to depreciate $12,000 to $15,000 after 3 years of ownership. Okay, and this is a new car. So let's say after 3 years, and you pay $10,000 over sticker. Let's say after 3 years, your vehicle depreciates $15,000. You pay $10,000 over sticker. So that means for 3 years, it costs you $25,000 to own that vehicle. Odds are, after that amount of time, you've barely touched the loan, okay? So when you go to trade that vehicle in and you're not keeping it more than 3 years, that's what a lot of people do, the 3-4 years, and then they're trading in. Overpaying for a depreciating asset is going to compound your long-term loss, okay? So financially, if you're not keeping it long-term, it is not a good investment. Like I said, there's a couple cases where that might be okay. Most cases it's not going to be. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys staying tuned and all the support that you give me. Drop a like and subscribe in the video. Send this to anybody that's in the market, maybe getting in the market, or just people that aren't really aware of what's going on. I could really help them out. And if you want to reach out to me, whether it's a question or you want to buy a car from me, whatever the case may be, my phone number is 319-800-1333. All right, guys, you have a great day, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys either in my dealership, in the comment section. But you guys have a good holiday, and we'll see you in the next video.